What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries? It's your boy Trey and his co-host Super Bro Corey, and we coming in hot because, ladies and gentlemen, the Superman trailer, the start of the DCU teaser trailer has officially arrived with Superman starring David Cornsweet. Corey, first off, I think the important thing to say is we're DC fans, right? But we tend to really enjoy some of the darker stuff, the SnyderVerse, as a lot of people coin it. And I know it's just part of it, but with DC, it's always been known as a multiverse. So I just want people to know, Corey and I are always going to be honest. We're going to come at it very fair.
It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair!
And maybe just give like a different perspective. Maybe James Gunn surprises us here with Superman, even though we're still a little hurt about Henry Cavill not donning the cape anymore.
You know, from behind, you look a little bit like Henry.
Oh my
The Cavalrine.
And may I say, sir, on behalf of all humanity, this just feels right. We will treat you so much better than those shit down the street.
You were just leaving.
No, sir.
But Corey, what's going into this? Do you have any expectations or anything you're hoping to see that are gonna be like, okay, if I see these certain things, maybe we're on the right track? There's not a lot you can tell from the teaser trailer.
I have no expectations, honestly.
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious what is going to be thrown together, what this is going to look like, what the attitude, the tone and attitude is going to be like. You know, like we've mentioned before, I've never been a real big fan of, you know, some of the other movies that James Gunn has done. So, you know, especially in the Marvel side of things. So it's going to be interesting to see how he translate that into the DC side of things, which typically goes a little bit harder, you know, like, so I guess I'm curious is like, you know, is this going to look like, you know, his version of Suicide Squad? Is that the tone and vibn't
That's a fair, or the Creature Commandos, which we haven't checked out just because that particular story didn't interest me. The trailers didn't interest me, so I have not seen Creature Commando. So there could be Easter eggs that people see in this that maybe we don't catch because of Creature Commandos, which technically kicks off the DCU. But before we watch this, Corey, and guys, as always, it helps us out so much when you smash that like, you share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode, and leave a comment. We really do want to hear your guys' honest takes about the trailer, maybe some of the Easter eggs that you see. But Corey, before we begin the trailer and react to it, for you as a Superman fan, give me 3 things that are super important for you for the character to see?
Oh gosh, that's a great question, Trey. So I guess I'm a little bit different of a Superman fan there. So obviously big, you know, Henry Cavill fan, and I love Christopher Reeves as well too. So you know, the GOATs for sure. I think some things that I tend to like in Superman is I love a good Clark Kent. You know, I think that's important, having the foundation of Clark Kent there. I like the Smallville background story as well, of course. And then I would say it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what kind of Superman we're going to get. You know, like, you know, Superman, you know, is goated in some way. So I remember when we watched Justice League beforehand, and I was making fun of you of how goated, you know, Superman was.
The 2017 film that we do not talk about.
Yeah, but you know, I was messing with you. I was like, all right, this is getting a bit ridiculous. It wasn't very.
They did OP him a bit, right?
Yes, they did OP him for sure. So I'm curious to see what the Superman's going to look like, as well. I'm curious about the suit for sure. Really, to me, it's going to be. I'm curious to see how the actor portrays Superman, David Cornsweet. You know, like I'm really curious about him, because David Cornsweet was, you know, not very many people know about him, but he was in Twisters. Great movie. Love Twisters, the movie. but I wasn't necessarily a fan of his character in Twister. Like he was kind of
So we know he can play a good jerk.
he was definitely a jerk in this one in Twister. So it's like,
Okay.
you know, that's my first taste of him. You know, what is going to be, you know, that, you know, shining light, the good guy of, you know, him, you know. So I'm kind of curious to see how David Courtsweat does as well. But yeah, no, I'm just here so I don't get fined, Trey.
I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
So Corey likes to see the different sides of Superman to Clark Kent, the Smallville side of it, but also just you're curious about the tone of which Superman we get, because you tend to go maybe a little more 52, maybe a little of the stronger, more grounded Superman, rather than completely full of optimism and hope and just the Boy Scout. Is that fair to say?
I do like the Boy Scout side of things too. Don't get me wrong there, but like I you know, like that, I feel like that was kind of the Christopher Reeve style, you know, like the you know, the good guy, you know. But you know, I do like the grounded side as well. I have no expectation for this. Like I'm curious, you know. I didn't even
Going
see
in with an open mind. Okay.
I didn't even see the teaser trailer as well. So Trey, when you texted me, I was like, all right, let's do this.
All right. Well, you heard the man. Let's not waste any more time. Let's look up at the new Superman coming out July 11th, I believe, 2025. All righty, guys. I hope you have your headphones ready. And here we go. Coming down in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh. Ooh, he got messed up. Oh, it's even the Christopher Reeve Superman font. And Christopher Reeve Superman theme.
I don't like this metallic version of it though.
Krypto.
Oh.
Oh,
Krypto.
take me home.
What the heck? Oh, there. Okay. Luther Corp. Okay.
Superman.
Huh. Oh, dude, that was Stag. Fortress Salted. Oh. Okay. Interesting. I wasn't. Some of the tone seemed a bit all over the place. So they definitely hit us with kind of a bit of seriousness. You know, Superman's whatever happened to him. Maybe this fight with that kaiju-looking creature. He got his ass kicked a little bit, and he calls for help for Krypto. But we also saw like the silly, looks like kind of the Christopher Reeve style, like, you know, kind of hunched over, goofy freaking hair that looks like a dead animal on his head. Corey, your initial thoughts?
I actually hated how they opened that up, dude.
Well, you didn't like seeing him down for the count. You think Dan Corton Sweat's first?
I'm okay with the real, okay, Superman's beat up a little bit, but I actually hated how that was the, that was the first, trailer look of him, like him falling into the ground, just like, just beat to crap, the
interesting part was that first initial shot and like him hitting the ground kind of reminded me of the first flight scene of Man of Steel, except for rather like to see him like so beat up. It kind of took you to that place, but like what was an inspiring moment, like here we're seeing like, oh shit, like whatever Superman was in, big problem.
I don't know, like I don't understand why, like the first time we saw a picture of Superman, he's putting on shoes, and then now we see him just first thing we see of him is just bloodied up, beat up Superman into the ground. Like I'm not sure if that was the smartest way to show off your new Superman, if that makes sense.
I think that's absolutely fair. There's a lot to kind of pick apart with it, but I think the first thing that really kind of hit me while watching it, and I feel like this is going to be an issue with the movie, and I kind of felt that way just hearing about everything that's, everyone who's in the movie, is it feels really busy. It feels like there's so much going on. You got Maxwell Lord, you got Simon Stagg, you got Metamorpho, you got Krypto, you got Guy Gardner, you got Hawkgirl. There's just so many characters, especially expanding the DC universe, that it just feels like there's so much going on. I don't know if that's the smart decision when it should be, this is your first introduction to the DCU. Should Superman really be at the core? And yes, his name is on the title, but it feels like there's so many characters that you're introducing. And just as I was seeing with that trailer, it just kind of all over the place that there's some interesting things, I will say. There's some interesting tones that are kind of in there. Like I was surprised to see kind of a brooding Superman. To one where it doesn't look like the people of Earth really like him. Some people do in third world countries, but it looks like maybe they're in Metropolis. They were throwing a can at him, blaming him for something that happened. So I was kind of surprised by that. What's your thoughts on that, Corey? Like just in terms of everything you saw in the trailer, but more you really were talking about Superman. You got a little bit of Clark Kent and even Smallville Clark Kent with Jonathan Kent.
Yeah.
Not convinced?
No, I'm not convinced one bit, and I know we're big into like a lot of different things, but I guess I didn't like the fact that we saw him, fall and beat up right from the get-go. The other thing that took me out right away is I appreciate the music, the music they wanting to try to play to that theme, but I hated that, guitar riff, and I usually like that type of stuff, but I didn't like the sound of it.
Okay.
Personally, it like,
how do you feel that it was clearly the John Williams iconic, one of the greatest themes of all time? How do you feel that, and the font that they were using throughout the trailer was clearly, tipping the hat to the Christopher Reeve Superman?
And maybe that's all that this is they're tipping their hat at the Christopher Reeve Superman with this first look of the trailer, which is fine, but I did not like that theme, how it sounded, like what they did to Christopher Reeve's theme. It just didn't, like, and maybe this is us, Trey, being musicians as well. John Williams' score is perfect in that sense. So, like, you don't need to, like, don't mess with something that's already perfect. So, it just felt weird to me. It felt like it was trying to be a little bit more hip than what it was. And then that's especially what I noticed when we saw, Clark Kent walking around, that moppy hair style that is popular amongst the youths nowadays,
Very Riz, Corey, very Riz.
Very Riz, Skibbity Ohio. But yeah, like I was like, he looked a little, he looked dorky, of course, and I tried to make him look dorky and everything like that. But it was kind of a weird vibe for Clark Kent as well. And then I know you brought it up, Trey, Smallville. I knew I was going to have a little bit of an issue with But Jonathan, man, like I don't see him as Jonathan. I like, which is sad. Like I see him as Otis from Walking Dead, dude. And we've talked about this before. I still see him as
Otis.
from
Shot Carl.
Yeah, you shot Carl. You son of a.
I'm sorry.
But like he was a nice guy. He seemed like a nice guy in Talking Dead and such like that. But or the different interviews that we've seen with him. But like I'm used to this like strong, farmer, Clark Kent.
Yeah, very classic blue-collared American,
blue-collar
farmer,
American
Midwest
and
man.
I don't know if I necessarily got that with Otis. Like you got to think, we got them good old boys in Smallville, the good old Duke boy in Smallville, and then of course we had Kevin Costner, which he gives off that Western farmer, rancher, Yellowstone vibes.
He was a great Jonathan,
so like he's a great Jonathan Kent in my eyes as well. So like it's good. It's different, man. It's totally different vibes and everything like that than what we've seen. And then
at least recently, it feels different vibes, but it also feels like it's pulling a lot of themes from the innocence of Christopher Reeve's Superman, but maybe also some of the grittiness of the SnyderVerse in a couple of scenes that we saw.
At it, trying to at least,
trying to pull from everything at least.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Trey, was saying there's too much going on there right now. And obviously they're trying to get people excited. They're trying to throw as much at you as possible. Who knows how much they're really into it. I don't know how I feel about Krypto being in it.
I was just going to ask you about that. We've never seen really a live action Krypto, I think, in any of the movies. But
I don't know if I ever needed to see a Krypto live action. Personally, like I Superdog, that's never been a big thing for me. So,
to me, you think it's one of those scenes that maybe should have stayed cartoony comics? It's the kind of silly part of Superman. It didn't exactly believe in live action.
Yes, absolutely. Like, to me, it kind of seems like he's trying to appeal to a lot of different people right now, getting different characters. Giving the old people that look of Christopher Reeve Superman. Krypto's in there to be that Rocket or whatever that
the baby Grogu of the DCU.
The baby Grogu of the DCU, exactly. That's what he's trying to do there. Get the kids.
That's fair.
He's sell some Krypto merchandise is basically what's going on there.
Before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
so let me ask you this, Corey. We didn't really get a full-on Fortress of Solitude in Man of Steel or BVS or really anything like that. It was done metaphorically rather than a full-on location. We now come back to actually having a Fortress of Solitude, which I see you're reporting live from the Fortress of Solitude. How do you feel about having that back into Superman?
I do like Fortress of Solitude personally, kind of an escape for Superman. So I do like that mentality. I did like how it was kind of, outer world type vibe for, Man of Steel side of things, like you said there. And who knows, maybe we would have gotten something along those lines someday. But I do like Fortress of Solitude side of things.
So you're glad to see it.
It's going to be interesting because, do we see the Fortress of Solitude like we've seen in the Christopher Reeve movies and such like that? How are they going to portray it and everything like that? So, that part was interesting for sure.
And I think one of the last things we do always have to address, because what is so important and iconic to a character that it's like when you see it, you know exactly who it belongs to and you know what it is. And I think you got to bring it up is the suit. You know, we've talked about our favorite Batman suits. We've talked about, you know, our favorite Superman and different characters like that. This is our first seeing the suit in action. We saw, you know, the teaser pic that, you know, lacing up the boots while there's destruction and mayhem going on in Metropolis. Now that you've seen it a little bit in action, general thoughts?
Oh man, I'm not a big fan of the red trunks, man. Like that was, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
the suit was okay, you know, like it wasn't
the worst,
you know, like,
but not your favorite.
No. I don't. I think my biggest issue with it was the S. I wasn't the biggest
Kingdom Come fan.
Yeah, it wasn't. You know, I didn't really like the Superman, you know, crest there. It was an okay suit. I still think that any of Superman suits are a million times better than Batman suits, to be honest with you, Trey. I still believe that. So,
What did you say?
I said, your hair looks stupid.
It was okay. You know, it's not the best suit that I've seen, but you know, it was.
It doesn't sell you that like, oh my god, you're not wowed. You're not. That's oh my god, that's Superman. You know, it just cosplay Superman maybe.
Yeah, cosplay Superman is a good way to
okay. And I think that's fair because we all have different takes. There's certain things I like about it. I don't feel it was executed quite well because one of my favorite looks, and I wish they did it with the Henry Cavill Superman suit at some point, was the collar from New 52. I've always loved the collar from New 52 Superman. I do think the trunks are a little bit outdated. I did hear David Cornsweet explain why he felt it was important because he was suggesting that to kind of have something like that makes him look like a wrestler, that makes him like kind of more approachable to kids, kind of gives him more of that symbol of hope. But to me, it's like at the same time, I don't see where criminals kind of take you seriously anymore. I don't see how they can't chuckle, you know, and be like, what the hell am I going up against here?
It worked for Christopher Reeve's Superman. I don't know if it works for modern day Superman.
Modern day,
like
that's fair.
I think that's my biggest issue with like the trunk side of things. You know, like things were different back then. You know, so it's like, who knows? You know, if Christopher Reeve's Superman came out, would we be saying the same thing? I think there's a possibility that we'd be saying, "Oh, why is he wearing the trunks?" You know, like, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own, right? Like, there's some designs where, like, it's definitely a very classic Superman look, and if you dig it, that's cool. But I would also say, to kind of wrap it up a little bit about the suits, I'm not impressed with the other superhero suits, like Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. It looks really cheesy, and I get like he does have like that. Usually he has like a vest look, but they kind of did like everyone's leather. It's leather jacket or with the, you know, Hawk Girl. To me, it just felt in a weird way kind of cheap, but we didn't see enough of it to really be able to be like, yeah, this ain't great. But I saw enough to kind of be like, it looks silly. It almost looks, I've seen CW do better. And that's weird to say, you know, that with the Arrowverse.
You have failed this city.
I would say the whole vibe kind of gave off like a very AI / fan edit vibes to me. It was CW at best, you know.
Yeah, and
the whole trip.
It could be early production. You know,
I
like
think
who knows if they're finished?
Yeah,
when it comes to teaser trailers, usually they're not done with the CGI and the post production, because there was definitely a few shots and like camera angles when, you know, glass was breaking that it looked a little off. That was kind of like, it kind of took me out of the moment a bit, but hopefully they'll clean it up by then. I mean, they have until July 11th to really finesse this movie to hopefully be the start of an incredible DCU if the fans love it and want it. But Corey, I guess to top it all off with this reaction video that we've done, teaser trailer, has it hooked you enough, even being a huge Superman fan, that you're like, July 11th, I am there opening weekend?
No.
Okay.
Nah, no. Sadly,
Is it salvageable? Like, can it be redeemed?
we'll have to see what the next trailers show, but
Okay.
you know, like you said, Trey, this is an early look. There's issues with some of the things that we saw there. Maybe they work that out in the next few trailers or such like that. But even that Lois Lane girl, I wasn't. Did she look Lois Laney to you, or?
I think her name is the actress is like Rachel Rosenhan, something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. That's kind of an interesting question. I think she looks very classic Lois Lane in a way. Like, I mean, Amy Adams was definitely a very different Lois Lane. I mean, with the red hair, when we're used to seeing her with brown. But at the same time, I mean, Amy Adams is an incredible actress. There's a lot of actors I don't know, especially like when it comes to Superman and Lois in this.
But yeah, I'm definitely curious about these actors. Why did Lex Luthor look so familiar? What's his name?
Nicholas Hoult. He's been in so many movies, and actually he's a great actor. And seeing him, at first I wasn't sure, but there was one particular look where he looked a little bit like the comic New 52 Lex Luthor. That was like, oh, that's kind of cool. He might be good. He might be a good one. But you've seen him in X-Men. He played Beast. Hank McCoy. He also was in The Menu.
Yep.
He's been in so many movies. Yeah, he's a
Yep.
great actor, very talented dude. And
Yep.
he's in the new Nosferatu film, which I'm super stoked for.
He
Interesting. So
definitely looks like a villain, that's for sure. I thought that may be the only thing that looked good, decent so far.
okay.
If I try, you know how we do things, Trey. We like to have a few positive things if we can find positive things. Lex Luthor was interesting, and since I like David Corn Sweat in Twisters, I hope he does well. He seems like a nice person. So yeah. There's you know what I'm saying, Trey.
Absolutely. But guys, let us know what you guys think in the comments. What did you notice in the trailer? Did this teaser trailer set you on the path to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm down with this DCU. I like what's going on here. SnyderVerse fans, my fellow team, let us know your guys' thoughts. Corey and I, like I say, we always like to be fair. We like to be honest, and while we still want some SnyderVerse to continue, and we continue in other places.
Superman.
Henry Cavill, man, yeah. We'll have to see. We haven't seen the movie yet, so we can't fully judge this particular portrayal in this movie until we get a chance to see it. So love to hear from you guys, but as always, we love you. Be kind to each other. If we don't see you till then, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Be good. Enjoy the rest of 2024. Make the best of it, because 2025, we're going to kick it off with a kick-ass year. And guys, thank you so much for watching. I am your host, Trey, with Super Bro Corey. And don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bat time.
Same bat channel. See you later, guys.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Have a good night.